There's no way. Look. Players like this come around once, sometimes in our lifetime. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been
once in a generation, certainly.
But no player in NBA, in WNBA history, has had to deal with this.
The one thing I just don't like, and I don't care what people say, I feel like there's a lot of hate on Caitlin Clark, and I think because she's white.
When NBA legends speak, people pay attention, not because they have to, but because those guys have seen everything. Championships, rivalries, controversy, greatness up close. So when those same legends start talking about Caitlin Clark, it marks a whole new level of conversation. This isn't about scripted, PR-approved compliments. It's about raw, sometimes uncomfortable truths. And what happens when those legends don't just praise Clark, but call out the league itself? When names like Magic, Barkley, and Gervin step forward, siding with Caitlin and condemning the hate, something shifts. These aren't bloggers or analysts. These are the men who built basketball into what it is. Now they're applying pressure, not just on Caitlin, but on the WNBA, the media, and the players treating her like a target. Because if the league ignores them, it risks losing the one thing it has chased for decades, lasting relevance. These legends aren't just watching, they're comparing, drawing parallels, even calling her the Tiger Woods of women's hoops. Some argue if she's not on the floor, nobody tunes in. Others flat out name the issues: race, jealousy, bitterness. The stuff nobody wanted to say out loud until now. And when Magic, Barkley, and KG drop their truths, it's the kind of honesty that could crack the league wide open. Even Jeff Teague, a former NBA All-Star, kept it as raw as ever.
She the best.
She's the best ever, bro. I don't care, bro. She's the best ever, bro.
So is she gonna be like LeBron with the stats?
Ain't nobody going to watch basketball if she ain't playing. That one sentence said more than half the hot takes floating around right now. Jeff Teague wasn't exaggerating. He wasn't guessing. He was telling the truth, and it stung. Because think about it. A former NBA All-Star openly admitted that one WNBA player is the reason fans are showing up. And Teague didn't say it to flatter her. He said it because he's been around long enough to recognize true star power. Caitlin Clark doesn't just boost ratings, she is the ratings. And then he doubled down. Teague didn't just compliment Caitlin Clark, he elevated her.
Ain't nobody gonna watch basketball if she ain't playing.
Ain't nobody gonna watch basketball if she ain't playing. That one line says more than half the hot takes floating around right now. Teague wasn't guessing. He wasn't exaggerating. He was telling the truth, and it stung. Because think about that. A former NBA All-Star just admitted that one player in the WNBA is the reason people are tuning in. And Teague didn't say it to boost her ego. He said it because he's been around long enough to know what actual star power looks like, and Caitlin has it. She's not just raising viewership, she is the viewership. And then, he doubled down. Teague didn't just praise Caitlin Clark, he anointed her.
When I was in Indy, I didn't care about that. The only thing I remember about Indy is when I was leaving Cambridge Arena in a loading dock, Caitlin Clark walked right by me, and I froze. I didn't say hello to her. How about that? My favorite basketball player outside of Clay was right there in front of me. There she was, and I said, no, I can't do it. But getting back to your question, you're right. That's what I remember most about Indiana. Caitlin Clark was right there next to me.
Let's slow that down. That wasn't casual barbershop talk. That was a veteran who competed at the highest level, putting Caitlin in GOAT conversations barely 2 years into her career. And it's not just about the numbers. It's about what those numbers mean. Teague sees the game tilting toward her. He isn't predicting success. He's predicting dominance, the kind measured in box scores, banners, and billion-dollar deals. What made it even more powerful was the way he said it. No smile, no joke, just belief. Jeff Teague doesn't hand out compliments like candy. This is the same guy who once dismissed Kawhi Leonard after guarding him. He's brutally honest. So when he says Caitlin Clark could be the LeBron of women's hoops, you stop and listen. And the next voice? It came from someone who didn't need to say much at all for you to understand Caitlin's impact. Michael Thompson, two-time NBA champ and father of Klay Thompson.
They're going to be tested by these incredible women who've been in the league for a long time. Caitlin is the most popular WNBA player, but she's not the best at this time. Just like Larry and I were not the best when we entered the league. We became the best later on by our play. Caitlin still has to play great to become the best WNBA player.
Michael Thompson didn't freeze around Magic Johnson, didn't choke in front of Michael Jordan. But when Caitlin Clark walked by, he was speechless. That's not a simple compliment, that's awe. Because Thompson wasn't reacting to just another skilled player. He was reacting to a cultural force, someone who makes even basketball lifers forget their words. Caitlin Clark isn't just competing in the WNBA, she's reshaping it. And when a man who raised one of the greatest shooters of all time calls her his favorite player, that's not hype, it's validation. She has broken through every wall. Men's hoops, women's hoops, legends, fans, and peers. And just when you think the respect can't grow any larger, one of the biggest names in NBA history raised the stakes. Magic Johnson, a man who knows better than anyone what it means to carry a league, weighed in. Interview 5. Magic Johnson doesn't hand out light praise. When he talks, he's setting a standard. For Caitlin, he didn't just say she was good, he compared her path to his own and Larry Bird's. That's not hate. That's respect. He wasn't just calling her popular, he was saying her journey mirrors the greatest ever. Caitlin Clark is no longer being judged on a separate scale. She's now measured against legends. And Magic wasn't warning her. He was challenging her. Keep going. You've got the stage, now take the crown. But while Magic gave her context, another Hall of Famer brought raw fire. Reggie Miller, one of the coldest shooters and most relentless trash talkers in NBA history, had a completely different message.
Shaq said he loved Caitlin Clark, but, quote, she needs to wait her turn. Do you agree with the idea that great players, no matter how great they are, need to wait their turn? This was from them.
Hey, first of all, let's start off with Shaq. You ain't wait your turn.
And he didn't sugarcoat it. Reggie Miller was frustrated, not with Caitlin, but with the league. He sees the cheap shots, the flagrant fouls, the silence from the WNBA, and he's saying enough. Because when a single player is boosting ratings, growing the fan base, and lifting the sport's profile, you protect her. Period. The fact that nobody has done so? That's why Reggie's words cut so deep. He's not asking for chaos. He's warning it might take one big wake-up call to get people to pay attention. And then another voice came in, someone who knows a thing or two about championships, Robert Horry. The 7-time NBA champion isn't known for speaking often, but when he does, it's calculated and real.
Players like this come around once, sometimes in our lifetime. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been
once in a generation, certainly.
But no player in NBA, in WNBA history has had to deal with this, right?
What?
What she's dealing with.
What?
Like
what is she dealing with?
Fouling from day one already, but she's been crowned. I mean, she's already, nobody, who was the face of the league in the first few years of the WNBA?
Horry didn't hold back. When Shaq suggested Caitlin should wait her turn, Horry blew that idea up instantly. He wasn't defending Shaq. He wasn't playing politics. He was setting the record straight. Caitlin doesn't need to wait. She's already the spotlight, already the reason the league is cashing in. She's done more in months than some veterans did in years. And Horry knows it. He's seen stars rise, he's seen legends built. What he sees in Caitlin isn't something you put on hold. And if that wasn't clear enough, Paul Pierce made it even sharper.
It's a privilege too, though. It's a privilege, though. It's a privilege to be in a position where others are hating on you. And when others are hating on you, that means you're doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
Paul Pierce didn't just compare Caitlin to other stars. He admitted she's dealing with something no player before her ever has. Pierce knows pressure. He lived through it, thrived in it. But when he looks at Caitlin, he sees a level of scrutiny he never experienced. Endorsements, headlines, viewership, expectations. Every eye is on her. And unlike others, Caitlin faces added battles. Race narratives, locker room jealousy, league silence, and constant cameras. Pierce didn't call her perfect. He didn't crown her yet. But he made one thing clear. No one has been thrown this much, this fast. And she's still standing. And just when you thought the truth had peaked, Kevin Garnett stepped in. And when KG talks, it's never filtered. It's raw, spiritual, and painfully real.
I think it's reprehensible what they're allowing some of these players. Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing that.
And with that, KG flipped the whole Caitlin's being hated narrative on its head. Most people look at the backlash, the fouls, the cold stares and wonder, why is this happening? But KG? He says good. He knows hate only comes when you're a threat. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's a disruption to the old order. She's moving money, moving media, moving culture. And the hate? That's proof it's working. KG's lived that life before. Being the target, being the one opponents don't want to succeed. He's not giving Caitlin sympathy, he's giving her the game. He's reminding her what every legend learns. If they're not mad, you're not doing enough. But then another legend took it further. Rick Barry didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't dance around the issue. He went straight at the league, demanding consequences.
And think about it, y'all. I mean, we deal with imperfect people. I mean, and when you look at it, they don't know the value that she's bringing for all of them. She bringing, they flying private planes now. They went flying private before she came. They on major networks now. They weren't doing that. See, she remind me of Tiger Woods for golf.
Yes.
He changed the paycheck.
This wasn't a hot take. This was a Hall of Famer calling out league accountability. Rick Barry wasn't saying,
why ain't somebody, unions, making this an issue for these girls to say like, man, we need another Caitlin Clark if we gonna be able to get all these benefits because they didn't have it before she got into the league.
Caitlin should be babied. He was saying the league needs to wake up. Right now, players are taking cheap shots at the most valuable star they've had in decades, and the league is pretending it's normal. This isn't about a hard screen, it's about intent. She's being hit for who she is, not how she plays. Barry isn't asking for special treatment, just equal protection. If any other NBA or WNBA star got tackled off the ball, there'd be fines, suspensions, statements. But with Caitlin, just shrugs and silence. Barry called it what it is, shameful. And worse, the very players who benefit from Caitlin's impact are sometimes the ones taking her down. George Gervin saw it too, and his words cut even deeper.
I think she has the Tiger Woods effect, the way he put golf fans in a craze. Whether you're a golf fan or not, you tuned in and you wanted to learn about the game because he was so incredible. I think she has that effect.
Think about it. Tiger Woods for golf, Caitlin Clark for women's basketball. That's the level Gervin put her on. And he wasn't done.
The one thing I just don't like, and I don't care what people say, I feel like there's a lot of hate on Caitlin Clark, and I think because she's white.
That wasn't just a compliment, it was a challenge. Gervin was calling out the league, the players, the union. Caitlin Clark is the rising tide lifting every boat. She's the one bringing better travel, bigger contracts, larger audiences. Yet she's also the one absorbing the hardest hits. The math doesn't add up, and Gervin sees it plain as day. But he wasn't the only one willing to be blunt. Matt Barnes stepped up next, and he's never been afraid to say the things others won't. When he spoke about Caitlin Clark, he didn't just defend her. He dropped a truth bomb. Interview 13. That's high praise already. But then he went where everyone else had been tiptoeing.
So what are they doing now? They're running. You see creativity, you see originality, you see all that stuff in transition now because the floor is spread. As soon as they get the ball, make a miss, they are out, man. They are out filling the lanes, running their spots, getting to their spot. Why? Because they know Caitlin gonna give it up. That's the beauty that we're watching in basketball right now with Caitlin Clark.
There it was. No dodging. No coded language. Barnes said outright that a lot of the hate is racial, and he wasn't wrong. Caitlin isn't the first flashy guard, or the first confident scorer, but she's the first white woman promoted as the face of the WNBA from day one. And for some people, that's the real problem. Barnes said what many whisper behind closed doors. This isn't just about paying dues or veteran toughness. It's about discomfort with who's now carrying the torch. He didn't say it to stir drama. He said it because it's the truth, and truth doesn't need defending. Then came Isaiah Thomas, Zeke. A Hall of Fame mind, a master of basketball IQ. And when he broke down Caitlin's game, it wasn't about hype, headlines, or controversy. It was pure basketball.
You know I say what's up, but I'm not the type to say what's up to interrupt your workout because I don't like people to interrupt mine. She can shoot the shit out of it.
And the WNBA assist leader this past year.
She can shoot the shit out the ball.
She's a great shooter.
And she's one of those workout people.
What he delivered wasn't just praise, it was validation. Thomas explained that Caitlin isn't just putting up points. She's shaping the game itself. She's changing defensive schemes, altering how her teammates move, speeding up the pace of play. She's creating space and unlocking creativity, all as a rookie. And coming from one of the smartest, most unselfish point guards in NBA history, that matters. Caitlin isn't just a shooter or a scorer, she's the engine. When a Hall of Famer breaks you down like that, it's more than hype. It's confirmation. And then came a player known for toughness, work ethic, and spotting grinders, Patrick Beverley.
These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit. This girl is incredible. The number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here? And the thing I love about her, she never says a word.
That last line from Pat Bev, she's one of those workout people. That's where the respect lived. For Beverly, that's the ultimate compliment. It means you show up early, stay late, grind in silence, and earn everything. That's how he sees Caitlin Clark, a pure worker who lives in the gym. He didn't overhype her, didn't compare her to icons, he just kept it real. She's got the strap, the vision, and the discipline. And maybe that's why so many struggle with her. They see the media shine, the charter flights, the attention, but not the grind. Beverly sees it because he's lived it. That's why his respect is real. And then came the mic drop. Charles Barkley spoke, and he didn't hold back. What Barkley delivered wasn't commentary. It was an indictment. He torched the petty players, the bitter vets, the biased media, and even the league itself. His point was simple. Caitlin Clark is the reason for private flights, bigger exposure, and the benefits WNBA players had been demanding. And how are some responding? With cold shoulders, cheap shots, dismissals. Barkley's message was blunt. You asked for this moment, now don't ruin it. Like her or not, she's already changed the game. And if Barkley has to be the one to light the fuse, he'll do it. Because if Magic, KG, Pierce, Gervin, Barnes, Barkley, and others all see it clearly, what's everyone else waiting for? Caitlin Clark doesn't need saving. She's proving she can take the hits. But when legends speak up, that's not for her. That's for the rest of the league. They're calling out the double standards, the dirty fouls, the jealousy, the silence. Barnes called out the hate. Reggie Miller said maybe it's time Caitlin slaps someone. Rick Barry demanded suspensions. Gervin compared her to Tiger Woods. Barkley said the league is fumbling its biggest star ever. How many signs do you need? Caitlin didn't just enter the WNBA, she flipped it. She filled arenas, dragged women's basketball into the mainstream, and did it with a jumper and a chip. And now the old guard is warning the new. Respect the moment, respect the woman, or get left behind. Because what Caitlin Clark is building right now, it isn't hype. It's the start of a legacy,